Hey everyone, Teresa here with Jeremiah Dreams. How are you all doing? You guys, I am coming to you from Huntsville, Alabama, and it is hot, hot in Huntsville, Alabama. So I would love for you to drop in the comments where you are watching from, if you would do that. And also let me know if you can hear okay, if the feed is coming through okay. I'm always wanting to know how that's going. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick just to make sure. It might make a little racket, so bear with me. Let's see. Actually, come over to the live. Let me just unmute for a second. Bear with me. Good. Okay, that's all I needed to know, just to make sure that it was coming through loud and clear. Okay, so you guys, last week we started a new project. It's a dove, and it's a commission piece for someone very special. And this week is part two. Last week we did a lot of foundational work, background work, just to get things prepped. And this week we're going to work on some details and bring this dove to life. So I'm going to go ahead and get my surface here for you. Hold on a second. Okay, I had a little glitch in my system and hold on. Okay, sorry about that. I had a glitch in my system and it kicked me off, but I'm back. I'm so sorry. Let me just I am so sorry. Hold on. Hopefully you all can hear me. Let me just double check here, you guys. I don't know why it's kind of acting up on me. Let's just, okay, that's good. But let me know in the comments if you see or hear any issues at all. Hopefully this is going to straighten out. Okay. We're just going to roll with this. We don't want to test the waters too much there. Okay, so let's get going. We are going to begin laying in some details for our dove. I'm just going to use a flat brush. This is maybe, I'm going to try this. I actually think I want to go a little more narrow because that's a size 9. Here we go. This is a size 7. This is really more in line with what I had in mind. And I've already got some color, some paint out here. We're going to use just some apple barrel dark granite to help lay in some of the shadow work. That's what we're going to work on first. I also like using Master's Touch. This is titanium white. And we're going to just blend these together a little bit to help us kind of build in some of the details for our dove. And the first thing I want to do is kind of build in some shadow work for the wing so that I kind of know where that is sitting and how I want to build that part out. I'm going to pull in a little more titanium white just to kind of soften that a little. And using a double loaded brush is a great way to just kind of help build that out. All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to also pull in on the belly. And I probably need to put a little gray, which I've got a little bit still on my brush, and I'm good with how that's kind of pulling through. I'm going to pick up some more of that gray that we have already on our palette. And then let's just kind of build in some of the shadow in that underneath area for the tail feathers. Make sure everybody can see okay. And we're just kind of building in some of those details. And this will enhance as we go along. Just kind of blending into some of that darker gray, just softening it. And I'm good with it not being brilliantly white through here. Okay, let's build in a little bit of shadow right underneath. Always keeping in mind where that darker color is on our brush. Let's just build in some more white. And doing a project is really an evolution for me. I don't always have it worked out in my mind. I kind of just let the brush take me where it's going to take me. I kind of just build and make changes along the way because I don't always have it all worked out. So I'm just kind of shaping up underneath a little, just kind of easily fleshing out that throat area. Okay, let's build in a little interest and shadow work in the wings because we've kind of got this one wing that's overlapping. And we're going to add in kind of an underneath area just with what's still on our brush. And then we're going to start pulling in some darker colors. Still just kind of figuring out where our shadows are. So as you hop on, or if you watch the replay, please let me know in the comments that you stopped by. I would love to know. And let me know what the weather's like where you are, because it sure is pretty hot here in Huntsville, Alabama. We're just going to kind of build in some curves through here for these layers of feathers. I'm just kind of making C shapes, just little U's or C's, just to kind of build that in. Okay, I feel like I need to get a little bit smaller flat brush to build in some more detail. I'm just going to go down in size. This is actually a size 5 flat brush. Let's pick up a little black. Pull in a little white with it. And we're going to really add in some depth. Just going to be very gentle about it. Ease into it. And I'm trying to decide how I want these wings to kind of overlap in this area. We do have some nice blackness in the tip of this wing. We're going to kind of build that in. And just kind of going with that idea of those soft U shapes as we paint. I'm going to bring in some more pure black just to deepen that. And we're not adding much at all, just very little on my brush. Just kind of building that in, easing it out. And then we're going to overlap some more white. Let's bring in a little more gray and white. I'm just going to double load. And we're going to bring this wing on out. Just adding a few little strokes through there to kind of build that out a little bit. And then let's go ahead and we're going to add some more U kind of strokes, or C, the letter C or the letter U, however your mind wants to visualize that. Just going to kind of bring those on up. And we're going to make them a little smaller just as we move on up. Just giving it that texture. Just building it on up through there. And look how that develops into a really nice background for the wing. We're going to bring a little more gray on down through here. And this dove also, we're going to add some little ruffly kinds of feather movement going on through this neck area. Now I do have a reference photo. I'm kind of following for some of these indications of depth and highlight. Let's go ahead and build in the eye. To me, it always makes a huge difference. Let me turn on my fan. These lights are heating up. Makes a big difference whenever you put in the eye, and it just really gives that life. So I'm going to pull in a detail brush. This is, I don't even know what size this is. This set of brushes I really like, but they're not numbered. So it's a very small, detailed, round brush. So we're going to just, let me get this. We're going to thin down our black a little bit. I'm just adding a little water to my tray and just picking up a little black paint and mixing it in, just diluting it down. I'm going to offload and twirl to get a nice point. And let's just kind of sketch in the shape of that eye and the placement of it. And just kind of looking at our photo, we're just going to make sort of the seat of the eye. Sort of like the eye socket. Let's add a little more black. Okay. And this may seem kind of strange, but we are going to pull in a little red, not a, oh, it's hard to describe. We're not going to go super, super deep. I am going to pull in a little red into this eye just for some contrast. I'm not really wanting a pure red kind of thing. This is just going to be a little additional tone in that eye that's going to help divide the eye out and allow that difference between the socket and the actual eye to kind of um, be visible. Okay, now we're going to pull in some black for the center. We're going to just kind of let that sit and dry for a moment. And a lot of that red we did cover up, but it is there. It is there. We're going to add some more details that's going to kind of help really give this some life. One of the things we're going to do is there is a line in this dove that comes from that eye. It's more of an indentation. We're going to come around. And I am using a detail brush, very small round brush, to help us with this part. Then we have another very striking line that comes from this eye down to the beak. Let's get a little more black. I want to really enhance this eye a little more. We're going to let this dry for a minute. We'll come back and give it a spark of life. Okay, I'm going to pick up a little gray. We're going to dilute it down with some water and some white. We're going to add a little more shadow leading up to these lines to kind of enhance that divot. And so we're just adding in shadow. We're going to come back and we're going to add highlight that's going to help blend all of that out. So now I'm picking up my titanium white and we're just going to ease it right in there. Just kind of softens those edges. Turn this a little bit so I can get in here. And just kind of working out some of these colors I still have on my brush. We're going to add a little more black in some of these ruffles to give it some depth. Just kind of thinking about the shapes of the lines, the directions they go. And then as we go, let's pull in a little titanium white to kind of help with tucking those lines in a little bit and creating a highlight right above them. So we're just going to alternate back and forth between the depth and the highlight so that it gives us that illusion of those feathers kind of being ruffled. I want to kind of change up the shape a little bit on some of this. That's why I'm kind of going back over what I've already put in there. Go ahead and clean my brush and get that black off so that my white will remain white and I'll have that nice highlight. So see, just with some simple layers, you can kind of get that ruffle feather effect. Now I am going to come in with a little bit of gray and I am going to soften it with some white. I'm just kind of mixing it together right on my palette. And I'm just going to kind of add in just some little detail. It's going to be very subtle, but I'm hoping even in it being subtle that it's going to give the illusion of those feathers that are working together to make those ruffled sections. Okay. Now I'm going to pull in a little more. I'm going to grab some more water to my palette. I just dipped it in my plain water and just kind of dropped it here. And I'm just going to come right along the head and just kind of work that in. I'm thinking our eye may be dry enough. I'm going to pick up a little titanium white and really get a nice point on my brush. And we're going to try to add a little spark of highlight to this eye. It's going to give it a little life. Just be very gentle. Not using much pressure because we don't want our bristles to fan out. Just kind of like so. Just really being subtle about that. Okay, I'm going to pick up some more titanium white. We're just going to add some highlight, really enhancing some of these areas, just imagining where light is striking. And let's just add a little edginess to this throat area so it's not such a straight line, such a perfect line. It gives us that indication of those feathers that are working together. As we come on down, they're just going to fold more down into the body line. So I'm just kind of working in some of those. Okay, let's add some highlights to our wings. Thinking about all those areas that have the C shape. I'm going to pick up a little bit of the gray that we used a moment ago. And this is still really kind of foundational. We're going to come back and add even more tone. I'm still trying to keep my circular motion of that C shape, the letter C or the letter U. But I'm not covering up all the gray. I want to keep some of the gray. But we're just adding the highlights. I like to work from depth or darkness to light. Sometimes when I'm painting, I get kind of lost in what I'm working on, and it's just nice just to get quiet, let my mind get quiet. As I just add in these details. You know, one of the nice things about painting things from nature is you don't have to worry about perfection. Nature is perfectly imperfect. And there's no two items in nature that are exactly alike. So you have that freedom to just really take those liberties. See how he's coming together? Okay. I am going to get a little more water on my palette here to kind of thin down a little bit of this white. I am wanting a nice line that we're going to work into some of this black area. So we need our paint to be a little thinner so that we get a nice smooth line. And I noticed that my photo that this kind of fans out a little. I'm just kind of pulling that pigment out just a little. It just adds to that feather illusion. You know, one of the things about doing a project like this as well is it takes time. It takes time to layer things. Let's pull in a nice deep area through here where the wings fold over. Just taking it slow, taking it one little section at a time. And I'm telling you, when you start to add in the depth, the blacks, the grays, it really makes a huge difference. Just really building that depth. I'm going to pick up some gray through here just to help blend out. This is the very watery gray that I mixed a minute ago, just to help blend this color out. And then we're going to bring in some more highlight. I'm going to go ahead and clean my brush, get all this depth, the starkness off. Let's pick up some titanium white. And we're going to pay attention to kind of some intricacies on the back part of this wing, just like we have this going on here. We have some of the unevenness in the highlights on this back wing. I'm just going to kind of blend it out. And I'm just kind of fuzzing in or running together some of these colors. Just blending things. And just kind of looking at our photo, our reference photo, we're going to see a little streak of depth. Kind of working up. Let's see, how do I want to start this? It's just all the many layers of the wing. I'm going to pull in a little bit of shadow that runs from that, and then we'll put in the highlight that will help it all make sense. Pick up a little water. And then we have a line of highlight that kind of helps. I have too much water on my brush. Let me get some of this off. Little tip here, if you get too much water on your surface, you just need to take a dry brush and it will soak it right up. So where it's almost like an aura around this area of this other wing. So we're just going to gently lay that in. Kind of helps to separate everything out there too. And then we're going to do the same coming on along. It's kind of like the way the light is striking the feathers. Gonna add more titanium white. I mean, to get the look you're going for, it's all about layers and really building color. And I think I would like, I'm going to add a few more smaller um, feather sections. Would be a good way to put it, I think. Just being very gentle, almost like considering the paint and the brush to be kind of like sketching. Yeah, I'm going to come along some of these other sections and kind of add in a little bit of shadow right below some of the highlight areas. It's really going to help enhance these feathered sections. Sometimes it's hard to get your brain to slow down, to really take in the details. Just enhancing some of this depth. Just kind of giving that wing a little bit of lift, enhancing this highlight or this aura that we laid in. And then just kind of pulling that paint out. I'll grab a little bit of water. Just to kind of help with blending that out. I'm going to pull in some of these details in the tail. Kind of put in that line and then just kind of pulling that paint out in a way and fuzzing it. Need a little more water. Everything's getting a little dry. It gets dry fast in these lights. Just enhancing some of these sections. We'll come back through and we'll add some more highlight that's going to help accentuate the shadows. All right, I'm going to clean my brush and get some of this depth off. Let's really build some highlight. Kind of shaping things up a little bit. Ooh, got too much paint. Okay. I'm going to come down to this chest area. We're going to add quite a bit of shadow in the chest and body, lower body area, because it is so underneath everything. So I'm just really putting in some very thin gray. And I'm going to have it a little darker right along the body. And then we're just going to kind of fan it up and away while everything's still nice and wet. Let's come in with some white. The white is actually going to blend right with it and give us a nice graduated effect. Just like that. Okay. Let's come back up to our face area. I'm going to add in a little shadow area through here. We're going to come back with some highlight. Just kind of accentuate. I'm going to pick up a little bit of black. I'm going to add a little black right through here. And I'm going to kind of soften it with some thinned out white. Adding a few little more feathery details just with the color that's on my brush already. Just enhancing some of those feathered layers. Just kind of laying it in. And we're going to come back with some white and kind of highlight up against it just to kind of build that effect of that overlap is the word I'm looking for. So you guys, I just released a collection of Christmas ornaments in my Etsy shop. And if you are a Christmas in July kind of person and you're already starting your Christmas shopping, y'all check out my Etsy shop. Link is in the description below. And my collection, even bought individually, would be a wonderful keepsake as a Christmas gift to a collector of angels. And I'm very excited, very proud of them. I think they're the prettiest ornaments I've ever created. And you just check it out. Just check it out and see if it might be something that could be a keepsake or heirloom gift for someone very special in your life. I'm adding some more really bright titanium white up through here. My paint, let me turn this around a little bit so I can get to it a little easier. Paint got a little thick on me, so I've diluted this down a little. We're just going to work it out. So you guys, this is not going to get done tonight. This is very much about layering and taking your time, and I feel like I've kind of gone quickly. We still don't quite have all this body done. We've just got our leaves to do as well. But we've made some really good progress. Just kind of smoothing everything out, especially this highlight area. Quite a bit of highlight on the top of that head. We're going to define the back through here a little bit. I hear fireworks going on. They are still shooting fireworks in my neighborhood. Well, it may be the neighborhood next to us. I'm not sure. Just kind of enhancing that bend between the head and the body. Just kind of blending this out with some thinned out white. Gives a really nice effect. Let's see, what do I want to do? I want to enhance this throat area, the curve of this. We're just going to lay in some shadow that's going to kind of help with that motion. And we're going to kind of enhance under this eye area. We probably need to come on around that beak a little more. We need to work on our beak as well. We'll probably work on that next week. So there's some additional details that we need to work in for that. I'm just kind of blending these all together. Yeah, let's add a little more highlight. Pure titanium white. This is such a beautiful stark color, and we really need that pop of white, that bright white. I'm going to go ahead and lay this in here because we're going to work on that some more too. Pull in a little bit more gray tone. Right through this area. We'll grab a little white, help tone that down a little. It's really blending in. We're going to round this out, and we're going to work on that beak. We need to shape that up some more, so we're going to work on that next week. But this is a excellent start. Very pleased with where we came to in this part of our tutorial. Just still doing some more blending. Sometimes you just have to kind of be where you are and then take a step back and then figure out where you go next. We probably need to add a little gray blue in here somewhere too. We'll look at that. One thing I do want to do before we go is I'm going to add a little more black and just kind of shape these indications of white. Just adding depth. Just really enhancing the tone in this part of our dove. Okay. We're going to stop right there for tonight. This has really been I'm excited about where we've come to in this piece. Like I said, I never know where the paint is going to take me. I just kind of have to go with it and build as I go and just see what happens. And I think this is a really beautiful beginning to our dove. We've certainly got a lot of work to do to finish the dove with the beak and the background with the leaves. And so we are going to get together again next Sunday evening at 6 p.m. Central Time. I hope you all enjoyed this. You found it interesting. And I hope you'll join me again. Please subscribe if this was enjoyable to you, and let me know in the comments that you're here. Feel free to ask any questions. Thank you all for joining me, and I look forward to being with you again next Sunday. Have a great week, you guys. Bye.